Are we
Hello,
live?
everyone. We are live. Hello, everybody. We are back. We're back to Royal Chaos Madness. And it's great
Don't
to
worry,
see
guys. We're
everybody.
gonna have some other people join us.
How are you, Paula? I haven't seen you in a
I'm doing
while.
fantastic.
I've
I
spoken to you,
know
but
I
not
missed
seen your
you.
face.
I
I
missed
know, I
you. I
missed you
missed you so
too.
much. And this is Manuela.
Hi. Hi, Victoria. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Manuela. It's lovely to have you on. So,
Thank you.
obviously, I've been away for quite some time now. So I've been keeping up with the news, but I know, Paula, you're on the ball. Lots of things have been going on with Meghan and Harry. They always give us something new to talk about. I feel like at this point, are they trolling us and not the other way around?
Yeah, it is quite terrible. It's like that PR brand as ever. Remember, Manuela, you and I used to talk that I didn't think she was a female founder, that she was doing this just for the hell of it,
Yeah.
just to add to it, that she wasn't going to follow through. I mean, just the labels. Remember how many videos I did about the labels? That was a dead giveaway. I don't
Well,
know. What do you think?
I just think the whole thing, there's something going on. Obviously, it's a big failure. She can't handle it. Behind the scenes must be an absolute mess. I mean, I'm in manufacturing. I mean, I make skincare. And jam is easy. And this is not unusual and hard. But the fact that they want to have data and to be able to wait 6 months or something to release, this is all baloney, because if she sold out in half an hour or 45 minutes, what data are you gathering? You made 50, you sold 50. What you're not seeing any market change or growth or decline or what time they buy or the air. This is all a big cover up. There's something else going on.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because if she did sell out so quickly, why is she not restocking now? Why is she waiting till 2026 to restock? She's put a pause on something that's doing so fabulously well. I would say, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just keep going if it's so,
Because it's a lie, it's
yeah.
a lie, it's a lie. And
It's a lie.
she just needed to put that in her CV, that she's a female founder, so she would have an excuse to do the podcast called Female Founder. She doesn't found anything. She's not a female founder. She's just a female scammer or grifter.
I
Yeah.
agree. I would have to agree. I would have to agree that even when she said, I don't know what to put on my resume, it's because you've done really nothing. There's no passion. There's nothing you've really built or skill that you've learned. You just have these little titles momentarily. That's not what you build on, right? It's just built on lies and manipulation and opportunity here in a very bad way. Just to be able to say, yes, I qualify as a founder because I made, this thing for 5 minutes.
You know what I think it is, though? I interpreted it this way, that, oh, I don't know what to call myself because I was briefly a royal for 5 minutes, and now I don't know what to call myself, because she wants to call herself a royal again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the way I call it. It's like my identity now is gone because I'm actually a royal, so but they're not allowing me to call myself a royal. So I don't know what to call myself. Well, you can call yourself Rachel Meghan Markle, a D-list mattress actress, And the thing is that every time she does stuff like this, her brand as an image, as a person, goes even down, goes worse.
Sure, she's eroding it. Absolutely, she's eroding it because she has no integrity. You can see that there's no integrity there. You can see that there's not it's all built on fluff. There's just noise and there's no substance, and so it makes people more aware of the fact that she doesn't have anything. The more noise she's making, the more we can see she's there. It's empty. It's just a vessel. There's nothing there. And it's actually not even it's not even going in the right direction in the sense of that there's some goodness there. It's just opportunity.
So she recently done that interview with what was it called? Fast. Let me have a little
Fast Company.
What was it called? Fast Company. That's the one. Fast Company. And I mean, I watched through it, and I feel like it was severely rehearsed. When you're speaking and loading off a list of things that you do, you will stutter and you will stumble. And she had it down to a T. I mean, even she'd already rehearsed her pauses, the way she looked at the camera, she held her face. It was just a massive act. And you do feel like, how busy she is. But yet she sounds busy, but there is no kind of fruit from her labor. I can't see any.
I don't know how busy she is. I mean, I think I don't understand how busy she can be. I've been, as a mother, as a business owner, all of us ladies, I'm sure we have our jobs, and then we have our families, and we have our little projects and everything. And we manage things that are very ordinary. She makes them sound like, oh my gosh, she's the only person or the very first person who's done any of these things. But you have to remember, she has also no financial stress, tons of support from staff, tons of support from family members. She really does, even indirectly adjacent, because people want to protect, the institution that she's with. So this busyness, this is all just to create this self-importance when she's probably doing nothing all day long. I mean, I bet her biggest decision is, what time is she having coffee, and when is she going to start drinking in the day?
Or when is she going to do an Instagram post?
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you mention her Instagram post, because there was a big kind of hoo-ha around her vegetable picking, and people had noticed that it wasn't the time of year for certain vegetables. This hoard of vegetables that she'd been growing in the garden, it all kind of looked like it came from a supermarket. I mean, what do you make of that?
I mean, everything at this woman is fake.
Yeah, I think it's all staged. Everything is staged.
And her recent Instagram post with her daughter, beekeeping. I mean, do you think that it's okay for a 4-year-old to be beekeeping?
Well, she doesn't look 4 years old there. I'm sorry. That looks like a 2-year-old little toddler that's even wearing diapers. And if you look at the picture she posted before, the lily that she's carrying on her body that's climbing all over Mount Mami is, it looks like she's 10 years old. I mean, she's so tall. So depending on which kid you want it to be, that is a toddler. And don't forget that this thing was recorded allegedly last year.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not safe, because even the hat is not even well placed.
No, there's no precautions taken if it's true. I would suspect there's no bees there at the time of that if it's truly the child, if the child exists, there was no bees there. That's all just set up so that it could be easy and there's be no issues.
I mean, I just don't think it's a suitable activity anyway for children, whatever child she's got involved with her Instagram post. I just think that it's quite a dangerous thing to do. I think beekeepers and bee handlers, they normally have a lot of kind of experience. A child, anything could go wrong. That bee she could get stung if the protective gear comes off. She could get scared. There's a number of different factors kind of that come into that. It's not the most, and she could be allergic to bees. You don't know until you're stung. You actually don't know if you're allergic or not. So I just find it a bit sort of careless. And was it really kind of just for Instagram and just to get the attention, the limelight again? After it seems to be every time King Charles makes an announcement, or Prince William, they will try to upstage them with something, and it all kind of goes in line with that. What do you guys think?
I would agree. They tried to upstage it. I know my grandfather used to have bees. He had one beehive. And I remember he would put it way at the back of the campo in Italy and tell us, don't even, we were told not to go close to it. I mean, these are like poor farmers or whatever in the sense, and they have more common sense with the children and with the animals around, saying, stay away, be very careful, and have all those precautions. I mean, that's a natural thing as a parent or a caregiver. And for her to be trotting her around and doing this, you're right. I mean, I just
whoever that kid is, I don't believe that's Lily.
I agree with you.
Do you think they rent out children then, Paula?
Did you see that picture she posted of Lily climbing all over her for Mother's Day? That girl looks even bigger than Archie.
Very long.
Have you noticed that she's posting more pictures of these children?
This woman is obsessed. This woman is obsessed with social media. She is obsessed with social media, and the problem is that ¿qué pasó, Ricardito? The problem is that she she doesn't. I don't know if it's that she doesn't understand it or she doesn't care because she feels protected by the royal family. Because so far, she's been able to get away with everything. You know that people are talking that she's having an affair with Ted Sarandos. That is absolutely false. The only reason why Ted Sarandos is helping pretty much Harry, and unfortunately by extension Meghan Markle, she benefits from whatever. And unfortunately, even if Meghan Markle divorces Harry, she will still benefit from the royal family, just like Fergie did. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's Ted Sarandos just got a CBOE from King Charles in December 2024. For what? What are his achievements? That he's a CEO?
I mean, they're all kind of fabricated anyway, aren't they?
No, but why would Ted Sarandos? Shonda Rhimes, I get because she's absolutely fabulous. Angelina Jolie, I get. The other people in the list, I get. But why would Ted Sarandos, a CEO of Netflix, who green lighted Cuties, be getting one of the highest orders of the British Empire from King Charles personally? Because you have a committee that they do recommend these honors, but then the monarch can choose to give honors as well. And King Charles personally chose Ted Sarandos. This is December 2024.
Maybe it's a bit of a babysitting award that he's got. Maybe he's watching from behind, right? You know, there's something there. There's a little deal going on, you know, keep an eye out on them. You know, try to protect them from this, or putting some cushions around it, and making that absolutely sure that Ted knows Charles is watching. Charles knows what's going on.
Oh, I just wanted to say quickly, Happy Mother's Day, Paula, because where you are, it's Mother's Day, right? It's obviously different.
This is what I'm drinking. I've been drinking.
Ah, that's what mummies do on Mother's Day. They drink.
Actually, you know, I was drinking. I did a live today, which really bums me out. I didn't know I had it unlisted on my YouTube because I do that Matt the Angry Bootneck, you know. And then I went on look, where is my live? It was unlisted, and I'm like, shh, because I didn't know I'd done that. And I did it because, you know, somebody reported my channel. I was like, shit, you know. So I went and did all of that. But now I put it live. But
why was your channel reported, Paula?
Because I did a video about the birth certificate. Our recollections may vary.
Hello. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Channel. That's fine. How are you? I'm Victoria, by the way.
Nice Hi, Victoria. Hello, Manuela.
Hi.
Yeah, I had it in my head that it was 3:30, and so I just looked and I was like, shoot, it's 3. So
where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
New Jersey. And Manuel, I forgot to ask you, where are you from?
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto. Oh, Canada. So you've just had the pleasure of King Charles.
He was in Ottawa.
How are you finding that?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Who you know?
Really great. He looked lovely. I mean, the whole thing was great. It was a really nice signal.
Yes. Well,
for what's happening in Canada, because we're kind of falling a little bit apart.
Well, I think as well with the whole Trump stuff, and you know, after kind of riling up Canada, he's trying to calm the situation down, which I think is great.
Yeah, we're not for sale, and we're not.
No, you're not for sale, guys. You're not for sale. Let's get that clear. Canada is not for sale.
Not for sale.
No, but did you know? Okay, you might not know this. I don't know if you know this, ORMV. It's that Manuela lives where Sarah Rafferty from Suits in front, across the street from her.
Yeah.
And Meghan, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I own 2 properties there. I own the one in front, but I also own the one next door because they wouldn't allow us to park 2 cars. So I bought the second property to park my husband and I could park our cars.
This is
so we happen to be next door to her. Yeah.
Go off.
Wow. And have you ever spoken to her about?
No, not about. But we've said hi, and I really mostly interacted with her nanny, and her children, because her children are there, and she would literally be picked up around 6 a.m. and come back late at night. But I think what Paula was trying to get at, sorry for interrupting, is that the was never around. There was no sighting of her ever on the
Very interesting. Well, actually, I can't even say I'm surprised.
Yeah. No, and not only that, OMD, it's like you don't live far from Jarvis because that's the street that Megan lived on, right?
Yarmouth. So I lived on, I grew up on Clinton. And so Yarmouth and Clinton kind of touch each other. And then there's Euclid where Peterson lives. And so it's literally, we all were within like 2 blocks of each other. And we probably all shopped at the same Fiesta Farms on, on Christmas.
So she would say that she knew when Harry, remember when you said that you knew that when Harry was visiting Mega because there were police outside?
There was police, there were black cars, but also there was a couple of, so here's the other thing is that the Mulrooneys live in Forest Hill. And so on the Forest Hill side, you would see the lineup of cars too. When he would, so they would actually stay in 2 places, sometimes her place or sometimes Jessica's.
Yeah,
So that house would have cars in front of it as well. And then I just found out 3 weeks ago, that my dry cleaner used to do Harry's dry cleaning, and most of his stuff was from J. Crew.
And did you find anything special in the pockets?
And not only that,
contraband in the pockets, Manuel.
Sorry,
Manuela. Did he find anything, any contraband?
I don't know. I should go find out.
You should ask. Yeah,
I've known this dry cleaner a long time, so I should ask him.
But also Manuela knows the assistant of Meghan Markle or something like that, and she said that Meghan was an absolute nightmare on suits.
Nightmare.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Well, I can't imagine, but that would have been the people that would have seen the drastic change. Because I can imagine that when she first started Suits until when she left Suits, she was probably a completely different monster.
Hello, Winning Communication, Mr. D, Mr.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Full house tonight. I'm loving it. That's brilliant.
We have a man in the crowd. We're gonna manhandle you.
Did you see her recent CV, guys, that's been shared around on Google?
No.
Well, I said
No, not her
CV
recent.
from before, not a recent one, but one from before where she's can speak fluent Spanish. Can she speak
of course.
fluent French as well? Is that correct?
Doesn't she speak German too?
Yeah, no, I
Mr.
don't think.
Wynn speaks Spanish better than Meghan Markle speaks Spanish.
Probably better than Megan,
Well,
yeah.
I know a bit of Spanish. Tu madre es loca.
Sí, pero esa es Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle es loca. Your mom is crazy. Yeah, that's
Your
absolutely
mother's crazy.
Mr. Wynn, you've been seeing videos of her and her Instagram. What do you make of her body language? And the things that she says that she doesn't know who she is.
Super robotic, super weird. One thing I was noticing recently is her, like she always, a lot of her photos, she puts light in the background facing the camera, like behind her, like she's being lit up, like she came down from the sky or something, which is really weird.
Like a halo?
Yeah, or like, like a halo or like a beam of light, which is not good photography. Or they look bad because you want the light behind the camera. But
no, because then you get high. She doesn't want to be seen that very well because if you notice all her pictures in her video, they're very heavily filtered. That even if you pause it and take a picture, it's very blurry because there's so many filters.
Yeah,
But from the body language, what do you make of it when she's walking around, cutting those flowers, or the things that? Okay, you watched that Time 100 thing, right?
Which one?
The Time 100 that she did.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of that?
The main thing that
sorry, before Winning Communication, he does body language and communications. This is why it's called Winning Communication. So
He's good too. He's found some things that I had never, like, he finds things in those clips that most people, like, it goes past us, but once he points it out and you see it, you can't unsee it.
Well, thank you so
subtle,
much.
isn't it? Yeah, it's very subtle body language.
Yeah, I learned a lot from you guys' videos. Yeah, well, in the time, with the gardening, she just looks super fake, like robotic. With the time, the number one thing that I noticed, a lot of fake smiling, but if you notice when they brought up who did the interviewer bring up? Was it
The Time 100.
yeah, in the Time
brought up
100 she was
people,
bringing
though,
up
didn't
other
they?
women. I think it was sorry?
She brought up a couple people. I know what you're
Yeah, like
talking about,
Nicole
though.
Kidman, I think might have been one. And you see Megan look
Well,
so mad and
didn't
she's
she
trying to
ask her about
hide
the
it.
Gwyneth Paltrow thing? Was that what
Yeah,
when she did it? Yeah. When she
No,
was
that
but it's
and
answering about the Gwyneth Paltrow.
Nicole Kidman. Also, Nicole Kidman is a CEO, and you can see that she's like, I don't know how
yeah.
to do that jaw thing. So I
Yeah,
don't do
right?
it.
Like yeah,
The
that's a
jaw
very
clench.
prominent thing. And a big thing you see with Megan, this is one that everyone can look for, is she'll be smiling and then it freezes like that. You know, that's a little exaggerated. Like she's like an angry smile. So she had a lot of that going on in the time.
And what scares me the most is that now, knowing those things that we now recognize so easily, when you go back and you watch things like the engagement interview, or you go back and you watch them when they were on the panel with William and Catherine when they were doing the whatever that thing was, a mental health thing or whatever. Now you see it so clearly that it was there the whole time. The red flags were always there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Such a good point.
You know that I went and looked. I've gone a few times and reviewed that engagement interview. She never said I loved you to Harry because Harry says I love this girl and I hope she loves me too, and she just looked down. She never said I love you too.
Wow. That's a big
What
one.
what I think is very interesting is if you go back and you watch that interview, you know how the big thing is that Meghan supposedly calls Kate because that's what they do in the family, and the family is that casual and whatnot. But during that interview, Harry calls her Catherine. So that takes that whole, oh, I'm just calling her Kate because that's what the family does. No, they don't. Harry called her Catherine until you came along.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
and you know that thing that she did in the podcast about the. Okay, we have to talk about this. We're all mothers here. I don't know if you're a mom or MV.
I am, yes.
Winning
I can tell you.
communications. Are you a woman? Are you a mummy?
I don't think you're a mom. Close enough. No.
There is no way you gain 65 pounds on the stomach alone. It
No.
goes all over the body. If you
Impossible.
gain, the doctor, we're gonna hopefully tomorrow because I actually was gonna have him on my show yesterday, but he had to deliver. You know, those stupid babies have a tendency to come at the most unexpected
On their own
times.
schedule.
Yeah,
Right.
so he had to go. So hopefully he'll be there tomorrow for the live, so he can explain people. Because we're all moms. If you gain over 30 pounds, especially given how small Meghan Markle is, and it has to do a lot with the body mass index. The less you have, the less body mass, and she was very thin at the time, then she's expected to get between 30 to 35 pounds. If you go over 35 pounds with that height and being that skinny, then you can run up for diabetes and all kinds of things, and you have to see your doctor.
Yep.
We saw that
She said she gained 65 pounds. Is that correct? So it's about 4 stone, right? It's roughly.
But it went also the belly. It went also the belly.
But the thing is, the only
That's
way
quite
you're
a
going to
lot of
gain
weight.
that much in your belly and make that belly that extended is if you're having like twins or triplets or something like that. That's the only way all that weight would have been in the belly because it would have been the fluids and whatnot.
Does she maybe not know that 65 pounds is a bit of an exaggeration there?
Yeah.
I think.
No, but she had to justify it because she had to say she had to make an excuse as to why she didn't swell in her ankles.
Right. Amongst other things.
Amongst other things.
Well,
But
all I can say though is her face does look swollen. If you look at her old pregnancy pictures, do you not think her face looks a little bit swollen?
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
I think it only looks swollen after she quote unquote gave birth. That's when her face takes on that, that puffing. Yeah, exactly. That Manuela is making the exact same symbol with her hands that I am right now. That's how that puffiness that we saw after she supposedly gave birth. That's the only time that I saw any changes in her face.
Well,
I
how
just
did
want
she
to
get
quickly
puffy?
welcome Lady Letitia to the panel. Hello.
Hello.
Lovely to see you,
Hello.
darling.
Hello.
Are you okay? How
Yes,
are
I'm
you?
doing great.
Good, good.
Thanks for
Carry
inviting
on,
me.
girlies. And man.
But I'm very curious when, because she went at the time 100. I really wanted your take on this because her body language. Remember, I don't know if you watched that video where she says "Jam is my jam,"
Ugh.
and then she went on the time 100 and said that everybody who knows her knows that she only wants to do jam. And now she does this interview with Fats Company saying that she's not going to do any more jam.
No, she's
How do
bored.
you that?
She moves on very quickly.
Why?
She
Because the
gets
jam
bored.
failed miserably?
She failed.
Right.
Ridiculously.
But what do you think, Mr.
Stunningly.
Wynn? What do you think about that, Mr. Wynn, about her body language on stage, saying that everybody who knows her that she loves to cook?
Leo, perdón. Sorry, everyone's coming to say hi to my dog. It's
He's a babe magnet. I know you got him because he's a babe magnet.
he's yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe that's question, but yeah, I can't. I feel bad. Kids all off them. But yeah, it's her language. A lot of times when she's lying, she'll freeze up. She'll look away. It won't match what she's saying. And in that case, again, the robotic thing is something I've noticed she does more lately,
Really?
where she starts just kind of moving in a little bit of a stilted way, and that's, I believe,
Can
she's
I
doing
ask?
at that. Yep.
Can I ask you, winning communication? What do you think of the excessive blinking? What does that mean? What does all
Good
this
question.
mean?
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
So with the blinking, with her it's lying, but generally it can be if someone just is a little stressed.
Oh, the
And
signal.
most, oh no, oh good, okay. But most indicators that could indicate lying are things that indicate a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
So you can't say for sure, like, oh, this means lying. With Meghan, you normally can, because you can confirm almost everything she says is a lie. So generally, it's like a little bit like thinking or stressing. Like, she is such a bad liar. I remember it might have been the first time I collabed with Paula, or maybe the second. You had such a good point that Harry's a better liar than Meghan. I forget that because
Yes.
Harry's so
Yeah,
dumb.
that's
He's
true.
way better
He's
at lying.
trained.
Remember?
Way better.
He's more
Yeah,
convincing.
no, it's like Victoria just said. He's been trained to do, like, he's been trained for the media and been trained to have that facade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, remember we talked about it because he's like, he can say it and he doesn't look stressed.
Yeah.
I think he believes his own lies, though. I think they both do
Yes.
to a point. You know, they're
No, I
they're
think
both
Harry has
not.
had more. I think Harry has had more body language training.
And he's
Yeah,
much
he
more
has.
diplomatic.
He's
He's
had
more
media
diplomatic from his
training. Yeah.
training. Yeah.
No, as royals, they do
Yeah.
teach you body language training, so they're always conscious of what they do and stuff. I do know that for a fact. But for Meghan, I had Scott Rouse, who is from the behavior panel, panel.
We've got a bit of feedback
I have a
going on here.
question.
Just let's work out where that's coming from. Can you hear it? The feedback?
Yeah,
There's a
we
little bit of Oh,
Where?
it's better
Was
now.
it me?
Okay.
When
I don't know. I have no idea.
it's gone?
You know what Scott Rouse said, that because he did a video about Meghan Markle, right? And she was in the Jamie Kern Lima.
Mhm.
And Jamie Kern Lima asked her, "Do you see yourself married?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she's like, "Don't you know he's such a fox."
He's
And
a
when he
fox.
said that when the voice goes like that, it could be, he said, it could be excitement, but it's usually a stressor. And he said he would have let it go because she also did the shoulder rug, but then she did a qualifier. He's a fox. He's such a fox.
Yeah, she's just full of it. I have a quick question. I don't mean to digress, but I was trying to figure out how the hell Meghan got puffy before and after the pregnancy if she wasn't carrying a baby bump.
Hormones.
Hormones, drugs.
You can take hormones. You can take hormones.
And not only that, you can put little sponges in your. I can do that right now.
What?
Fillers. Yeah, there's a dozen things.
I can make you guys. I can put little sponges in my face because it's weird the way she gained the weight.
But
Not in
she
her
looked puffy in her arms. She looked puffy in her neck. She just looked puffy.
I
Not
had a
not her,
girlfriend
not
who had a
acceptable.
surrogate. She used a surrogate,
Uh-huh.
and but she wanted to nurse her child, so she took hormones, and she actually always
Ah,
looked 3 months pregnant.
wow, that's
Um,
Yep.
interesting.
after for this baby of hers, but she's a very good
Pregnancy.
friend of mine, so I knew she went through it because I said to her at one point when I saw her like that, I thought, oh, you got pregnant. Like I was like excited for her because I knew she was using a surgery. She goes, no, this is just for me to be able to nurse the baby. So she
Yep.
was taking something. So
That's
you
very
can.
interesting. I didn't know that you could do that. So that is a possibility then. She could,
Yes.
but do you think she is, you know, I mean, a lot of women that don't like to breastfeed to maintain their bodies. Do you not think that maybe she might have? She seems like the type of person
I
that
think
wouldn't
she
want
just
to
did it for the
breastfeed.
story to say, look, I
She
look
did it for the
pregnant or I'm
story. Exactly.
puffy.
She was
Yeah.
willing to do it because, and
Yeah.
listen, we all know that she's supposedly on Ozempic, right? So clearly this is someone who, if she's not vigilant with her diet, she's not someone who's naturally going to remain thin unless she cares for herself, right? So, and we know she doesn't exercise. So the this is someone who would also be happy for the opportunity to not have to be vigilant. Oh, I have to pretend to be that I just gave birth. So, well, the vanity of her would stop her from necessarily wanting to be photographed with, a little bit of chubby cheeks or a little bit of extra weight. But in the end, I think for the sake of the narrative and for the sake of, hey, well, at least I don't have to worry about what I eat for a little bit, she would have loved it.
So do you think ORMV that she's on Ozempic, but she was already small? Why would she need to take that?
Uh,
Because she needs to compete with Catherine. She's not that thin naturally. She
no.
looks absolutely bony right now because I think she's selling a narrative. Because guys, she's getting ready for the book and the movie. Because Diana was bulimic.
Yep.
Yes, yeah. I do
We're
think there's
going
a lot
there.
of pressure on celebrities to look thin anyway. I think they use multiple different avenues to stay thin. I think the drugs are always available way before the Ozempic came out anyway. There would have been something else they would have been taking. I do think once you're in the limelight, you're very conscious of your weight, aren't you? Because the camera does put on a few pounds anyway.
Right.
But if she is doing that just to fabricate a pregnancy, there's quite a length to go to, right? I mean, it's
There's a lot at risk.
how far do you go?
Well, faking a
Very much
pregnancy in front of
so.
the entire world is pretty far to go, and she did that. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing, the whole craziness of it is further than I'd be exhausted from just the deception of it.
So do you
But
think that the royal family knows that she was being deceptive?
And now I think they do. Maybe they not maybe didn't know right
Absolutely.
at the beginning, but I
Absolutely.
do believe they know now
you
for
know what I
sure.
think about? You know what I think about? Do you remember, and more so maybe like 20 years ago, if you would go back and you would go into the grocery store and you'd be standing in line with the tabloids, you would see these tabloids. I think one of them was like News of the World, where they were so like, the Queen talks to aliens, those kind of things. Well, could you imagine how used to these kind of outrageous things the royal family must be? So the first few reports and things where people are saying Meghan's faking the pregnancy, they would have chalked that up to be like those, as absurd as alien talks to the Queen kind of thing. They would be so used to disregarding some of those more outlandish stories that they wouldn't have taken it seriously at first.
To me, what's really telling is what she's not saying. Like this is why I said, you're a great addition, because it's what she posts on her Instagram and how she damages her brand. And when I mean her brand, it's her image. Ay, gracias, amor. Mete un
What
beso.
brand? She doesn't have a brand.
No,
Then she
but
just
she does. But she does because herself is the brand. Can you
Yes.
show us
right.
Leo? Can you show us Leo?
Oh, sure. Leo,
Oh,
he's
how
got his chicken. He loves his
adorable.
chicken.
Oh,
Oh, he's lovely.
Yeah.
Hello, Baba.
We
You're
have
being a
so
good
much fun.
boy.
He's so good.
what
Oh,
kind is he?
he's
Cutie
a poodle.
patootie.
He's a what?
A poodle.
Poodle. He's adorable. Mine is.
He's the best.
My boxer dog got beaten up by a poodle when I was little. Yeah.
Aw.
Aw.
Mine's half poodle, half Jack Russell.
Oh, that's a cool mix. Must be
It,
athletic.
it is. He is. He's complete rat terrier.
Yeah.
You guys, any of you can babysit Siri anytime. You're gonna meet Siri soon, Manuela.
Oh, I can't wait. Christina would like her.
Yeah, and you can't wait for her to leave too. Vidina has seen her in action. She's not angelic. But you know, the thing I wanted to ask you is like you as a communications person that also affects the brand. The things that she does. I mean, for example, posting pictures of children that are different sizes, giving those interviews that make no sense.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something about when she says she doesn't know what to call herself? Because to me, it's like she wants to call herself royal, but she's not allowed to. What do you make of that interview she gave to Fast Company?
She's all over the place. It's so hard to make anything of it. I think with her, she just has such a big ego, and she's impulsive. Like, one thing that her and Harry have in common is they don't have a growth mindset. They don't think they have to learn or practice. Like we talked about, Harry's good at lying, but he says 100 times in his. I think Scott Rouse said that. He does this constantly. He's had so much opportunity to be trained as a speaker, and obviously hasn't put any effort. He doesn't listen to anyone. And Meghan's the same. She just comes into a charity and is, I'm going to change everything. So I think that thing, she just thinks she's great, so she's constantly changing on a whim. She could be like, oh, today I'm a influencer, I'm a food expert, I'm a this, I'm a that. I think that's why it's so inconsistent, is whatever her mood is that she wants to be great at, she'll say it.
So
it's all over the place.
Can I ask a question? Because I am really curious about, sorry, little one's out of school. I'm curious about her brand and her like quitting the JAMA scam, because it's just so weird that you would launch a couple of months ago and now you're moving on to something else. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It is.
Like, she's gimmicky.
Would you say she's an impulsive character when in communication? Do you feel like she is never complacent with her own, changing mood, or do you think that she might have a personality disorder of some kind?
I would say she's impulsive in some ways, but also when it comes to social climbing, she's quite the planner. She's impulsive in terms of like who she is, but she can definitely plan long term to get, to bag a prince or whatever. You could see that path, like the men. She was with a producer when she wanted to be in film. She wanted to be a princess. But I think, just definitely impulsive with her whims. And I agree, like Lady Letitia was saying as well. Yeah, like both of you, the point goes together. She's like, oh, I'm great. I want to do this. I'm going to do it. And she just thinks she's perfect, so she doesn't have to really put in the work to learn it,
Right, because she's not putting any work into this JAMA scam and the rest of her stuff. So it's almost like a gimmick. Let me try this and see if it'll sell itself. But it's not selling itself. As a matter of fact, don't she owe some people some money?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because in the United States, I did a video where she sent a buyer saying, oh, I'm sorry you didn't get the product, but I promised to send it when it comes up again, but you don't have to pay. It's a gift. But the person already paid for it. It just didn't get it. How is that allowed in the United States?
That's so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's a gift. You don't have to pay for the thing you already paid for. Bow to me that I'm willing to send you the thing you already bought.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is that even allowed in the United States?
I guess.
I don't know how she's getting away with that. I mean, I would think that if it's so, the only way I can think that she's managing it is by, she's not saying that they're out of stock. She's saying things are back ordered. So because they're back ordered, you can keep that charge. Exactly. You can keep that charge kind of in limbo as a back order, rather than we sold out and now it doesn't exist anymore. The problem I think she's going to have, though, is, isn't she Or maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering it. Did she refund for the honey, but not for
No,
anything else?
I
No,
don't
the
think
honey.
she
Okay.
refunded anything.
I knew she didn't refund for other things. The only thing that I was thinking she might not be able to get away with that with is the honey, because the honey was specifically
It's
marketed as limited edition, and
the
once it's
limited
sold out,
edition.
it's gone. Right,
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
but then they have to give you your money back. That's how it works.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah, because you can't say something limited edition is back ordered, because by its definition, it had a limit of whatever stock you had at first.
Oh, she's such a liar. She know
Yeah,
good and
Mhm.
well she didn't
yeah, but
sell
Manuela is the owner of her own
that
company.
stuff in
Manuela,
45
Manuela,
minutes.
Yeah. No,
Manuela
but
has limited edition, and by the way, Manuela's company is worldwide. And you all ask me about my
Oh, so
skin.
you're the good one. Yeah, you're the one to know. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yes,
also said for her limited edition that she's not going to be selling the limited edition anymore, and it could be something else. Remember we
isn't that
read that?
sad?
right. But when you do things like so I make skincare, right? So I do I manufacture. So very similar to food. Like I could make product, you know what your inventory is, you put your inventory on Shopify, for example, or on e-commerce. When you say limited edition, you know if you have 100, 1,000,
Right.
10,000.
You know
You
what you
load
got.
up the inventory that way and you give Shopify a window. So you can say you can oversell by 2% or 3% or something like that, or just sell to the true number. The reason why you may want to oversell a little bit is because some people's credit cards don't go through. So you want to make
Mm.
sure you sell your full inventory. But there's no way that when you have 1,000, for example, you're going to put 2,000 as your inventory, because you're going to way oversell in her case, for example. So I don't buy it. I believe that they just didn't either. They missed either. She made a deal with somebody and the inventory didn't come through, or she didn't
Mm.
pay them and they didn't ship. They may have been COD and they refused to have cash flow or whatever. There's something behind the scenes that her numbers don't jive, and I
Well,
think
what do
it's
you
gotten
think?
into some situation behind the scenes.
Well, what do you think about, and how you pronounce your name, sweetheart?
Me,
Yes.
Manuela.
Manuela. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Manuela, what do you think about the fact that she said she's got to do inventory now and do data? I got to assess the data. What data? She only sells some jam and some biscuits.
So when we look at data, for example, so one of the other things I do for my skincare company, I don't want to make it about me, but I'm just going to talk about my experiences. I also do TV shopping, right? So I've been doing that for 27 years. So in TV shopping, you go on air, you go like QVC, HSN, you go on air, you go live, and you have certain amount of inventory. Based on that inventory, they say you have this budget, you have to sell this much per hour, and they know, like they gear dollars per minute, margin dollars per minute, all these numbers. So you create inventory, 10,000 units, for example, and they say they want you to sell it out that day in 3 hours or whatever it is. They can tell data there for one day because they've parceled you out over many presentations. Now, in Meghan's case, if this is true, she went up and she went down in half an hour, 40 minutes. She had inventory and she sold it out. So basically, you have 100 of something or 1,000 of something, and then you have zero in X minutes. How much data do you think you have? You don't really have any data of any importance or relevance, because you need data over time. You need to be able to assess things: geography, time of day, population, price point. She basically went up with 5 things, sold it all out, and is done. That's nothing.
But then
Like,
she can
Mm.
call herself a female founder. You know what I wanted to
Yeah.
elaborate? I wanted to elaborate a little bit on Scott Rouse, because one of the things that was very, I didn't know this. So it's a party that we're going on because I'm at my friend's house and it's Mother's Day here. So you're going to see a lot of drinking and a lot of people walking by. So I didn't know this. I didn't know this because I said, what is the difference between somebody being extrovert and love bombing, like Meghan Markle? I said, because I was talking to him about it. He says, because love bombing, they target the person. That means that they do their research. So
Mm.
I said, because I asked him,
Well,
can I love bomb?
they
No,
mirror your
no, no,
interests
no,
as
no, no,
well.
no. Yeah, they investigate you,
Yeah,
but the love
yeah,
bombing, because he was very
yeah.
specific about it. Because I asked him, so for example, if somebody comes, can you love, because he was talking about interrogating people, that he can come and make you believe he's your best friend in from 4 to 7 hours. I'm like, how can you do that? And then so I said, so you were love bombing? And he said, no. Love bombing means that you study a subject, you target them, and you know exactly how to love bomb because you target the weak areas. And that's when because that's what Meghan Markle did. She studied her prey, which
Oh,
is this age,
absolutely.
you know. I didn't know that until Scott, and he's gonna come back on my channel. And I just wanted to share something here, guys. I was going to interview the Princess Diana's bodyguard, the last one that took care of her while she was with Dodi Al Fayed, and I just found out he died.
Oh,
Oh, sorry to hear that.
No, but it's
terrible.
so shocking. It's really weird because he was alive less than a week ago. He's 60 years old. He goes
Wow.
on the Show Network channel. He's in a wellness. He has a wellness channel,
What's
and he
that
dropped
noise?
dead.
I can't hear. Sounds like a motorbike or something. Sorry. Can you hear now? I can hear you now.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Thanks so much for having me. My battery's a little bit low, but
Are
I'll
you
see you
off?
guys
All
all
right.
soon.
Okay, bye, Winnie.
And
It was
Paula's
lovely to
gonna
have
be.
you on.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Paula's gonna be live with me on Friday, so I'll see you next Friday.
Wicked. And can you come on again with me when in communication?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, and you could come
Can I
on
get
as
your
well.
Can I get your real name? Because I don't really like calling you.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
that.
send you his details. No.
Yeah, you can send
Details.
my info. We could all collab. You guys could all
Okay,
come
perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you
Brilliant.
his details.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Paula.
okay,
See you later.
thanks.
Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, bye,
Can you
bye.
show
Bye.
Bye bye.
Can you show his channel, Victoria? I'm showing his channel. Can you put it up?
Oh yes, yeah, of course. Yeah. Where is it? I can't. Oh, there you are. Hold on.
Yeah, can you please show his channel
Yeah, of
so you guys
course.
can go
Yeah.
subscribe to him?
Yeah.
He's really funny. He's got really great videos,
Yeah,
great
he's great.
insight. He's a lot of fun, so please go subscribe to his channel. He's actually in South America right now.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I've been on with him before once. Yeah, he's great. I love the body language experts because I think it gives you a real insight into like the truth behind
Scott
the
Rouse
mask.
Scott Rouse is so sweet.
Yeah.
¿A dónde vas,
I want
Marina?
to ask him a
That's
few
my
more
best friend that
questions
walks.
actually, but next time hopefully we'll get some more questions to him.
Yeah, no,
He's
but
great.
Scott Rouse is coming back, so but I was gonna have that bodyguard because he wasn't Sean Atwood just like a week and a half ago.
Wow.
Wow,
And I said,
crazy.
Sean, I said, Sean, I want to be there, and he goes, he's dead, and he sent me the article.
Wow.
That's a shame, isn't it? I mean, was he young? How old was he?
60.
Oh wow.
And he had
It's
a
a bit of a
wellness
shock.
channel. I mean, this guy had a wellness channel and taekwondo and everything, and suddenly he dropped dead.
Huh.
Okay. Well, my condolences to his family.
It's very sad.
And he was very good friends with Trevor Rees-Jones. He was at the accident of Princess Diana because he talked about it. He was promoting his book about Princess Diana.
Well, I mean, it's always very interesting when people die when they're about to release a book. It feels kind of was it coincidental? We don't know. Lady Letitia, did I just see your hair and rollers?
We all saw her. We all saw it. No, but I mean, you know what I mean. They think we're stupid. Meghan Markle is trying to, and I said this. Vení, Marina, decí hola. This is my best friend.
Hi.
She danced at the National Theater.
You look like sisters.
La Manuela, espérame un momento. La Manuela es la que te va a hacer la de los ojos. Me mandó la cuestión. Manuela, this is my friend.
Hello.
My friend.
Nice to meet you.
She danced at the National Theater. She's the only one who gets me to the theater, I swear to God.
That's so nice.
I have a question, ladies.
She's
so
cooking,
nice
that's why. Yeah. But see how skinny she is? Disgusting.
About Gary's interview.
Guys, she's 53 years of age.
No way.
And she's dancing at the National Theater. She's still dancing ballet. And she's better than all the bitches because she is so amazing.
Is there somewhere we can see her dance? Like on
Yes, I posted it on my Instagram. I posted it on my YouTube. But I posted it on my Instagram.
They're going to be dancing on the table later, Lady Letitia, because they're having a drink.
Absolutely.
They're going to be swinging from the chandeliers.
We went to to this concert. I posted it. I think I posted it on my Instagram and on my YouTube. We went to see a concert of this guy we both love. His name is Chayanne. He's absolutely fantastic. He's like 53, old fashioned that they used to sing about his body.
Yeah.
He's from Puerto Rico. He's so hot. He's half black, half white, but oh my God. And he has beautiful music. So Maria Inés and I lost our charm, because and yeah, you can see it on Instagram. It's not pretty, but you can see it also on Instagram. Let me see if I can show you. If you don't mind, I can show a little bit of her. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, that is awesome. While you're doing that, I have a question about Harry, guys.
Go for it.
If you can answer it for me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Harry getting on that BBC interview and telling his father pretty much to his face that he's never going to see the kids because of security? Like, what kind of man is that won't, our family, or to Harry and Meghan, that won't allow their family to see the kids? It's like abuse. Allegedly.
I do think a lot of it's down to. I think it's kind of an excuse now. Really, I think
Absolutely.
we've been over the security saga so many times. I don't think there is a reasonable kind of it isn't reasonable what he's doing, and I think it's more down to rivalry than it is to do with anything else. I think there's a jealousy aspect there that's stopping him from coming back and reconnecting.
Oh, so you think he's jealous of everybody, like William and Catherine? And
of course, yeah. I mean, there's a rivalry there, and it's deep seated. I don't think he can get over it.
But wasn't
someone else might have another opinion that might have something else to say about it? But
interesting, Victoria.
Wasn't he back just a few weeks ago rummaging around some Fulham neighborhood and with the garbage bins behind him?
But you know that the king is paying for that bodyguard. You know that the king is paying for that bodyguard. And the reason why he didn't have the bodyguard is because he didn't want the king to know what the hell he was up to. Because that bodyguard was awarded a Medal of Honor in 2022, right before he went to work for Harry. And this is what people don't know. That can you show this?
Yes, I'll add it now. There we go. Oh wow! Oh my God! You know what? That reminds me a bit of river dancing, but with the arms.
That's what it is right here.
But it's not.
Oh wow!
That's lovely.
Isn't she beautiful?
Beautiful fabric and lovely dresses.
Thanks for
She's disgusting. Oh God, if she weren't my friend, I hate her.
We all need to start dancing, I think, to get a nicer body.
No, she's an agronomist. She works with animals. Her specialty was farm because her father is one of the biggest landowners, and they have cattle and stuff like that. So she studied like not like vet, but yeah, kind of like a vet, But that's her. Isn't she beautiful?
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's fantastic dancing,
and that's
too.
a woman with accomplishments. She doesn't have to make it up. She doesn't wonder what's on her resume. She knows what's on her
that's
resume.
right.
Yeah, this is us going to this is the concert. This is the concert, guys. I'm just going to show you this a little bit.
The concert.
This is Maria Inés because she went on TV because she choreographed this too.
What's going on with King Charles?
Oh, that's lovely.
I don't know. Do you guys want to hear the story about Princess Diana? Do you want to hear the story about Princess Diana?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
This is a beautiful story about Princess Diana.
See Mother Teresa in India, and Mother Teresa turned around to Diana and said, "If you want to go and see the loneliest people in the world, go and see the leprosy patients in the local rehabilitation hospital, which was my father's hospital, and he was the executive director of the leprosy mission at that time. So." She decided to kind of do a bit of a coup with the paparazzi, went off piece on her kind of schedule for that day, went to this hospital, took off her gloves at the beginning of the ward, and the doctors weren't ready at all. And but they just sort of let her come in, but she knew the paparazzi were behind her. So let them come into the hospital ward and then started touching every single hand and every face of each leprosy patient, which blew the stigma off around the world. On the front of the tabloids the next morning, it was "Don't do it, die." And my father saw the press titles on the tabloids and called Kensington Palace and spoke to Patrick Jefferson, who was her private secretary at the time, and said, I just wanted to pass on a message to say what she's done in 5 minutes, we've been trying to do for 120 years.
Come on.
And he went, could you just hold the phone one moment? And so he goes away, comes back. He said, Tony, could you just say that one line one more time? He said it again. And then the next voice was Diana's. And she went, Tony, what you're doing out there is extraordinary. How can I help? And he said, well, you can be our patron if you like. So that began their relationship. And so she had gone to see Mother Teresa.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she was doing all that but for her time and that era, she was, you know, a pioneer, really. I mean, even with the HIV epidemic, she was, you know, doing things that basically people were saying, you know, stay away from HIV patients. But she just had this nature of, she broke the boundaries, I think, and she also stopped the stigma with a lot of debilitating illnesses. What do you guys think? I mean, she kind of was quite a groundbreaking person in that respect.
Absolutely. She definitely was.
I mean, this woman was a humanitarian. And you know, one of the things that I always said, that this is not something that you can teach. This is something that you have it or not. And this is, you know, the guy that died, Lee Sampson, that the one that I was going to interview, guys, he was the last one. He was in Saint-Tropez, right? And he said that she even made the Fayette family nice, because he loved the Fayette family. But he said, like, you know, when she came, they started saying hello and thank you and please, and they were talking to me. She would come, he said, and sit with them at 7 a.m. in the morning, because the Fayettes would wake up around midday, right? And she would just sit with them and talk to them. And he said that without makeup, and without her hair done, she looked so young. And he said that he'd never met a more beautiful woman, because her skin was incredible, her blue eyes. And he said, but it wasn't just that. He said, it's like, I remember he said that they went on Saint-Tropez and she disguised herself so nobody knew who it was, right? And then he said that even people who didn't know who it was, he witnessed it. And he said it's like they were absolutely charmed by her, because she was so beautiful. He said he was such a beautiful soul. You know, it's like she knew everybody's names. She would come and talk to them. She would sit with them, and he said that it was incredible. He said that, and one of the things that he said, I can't believe he's dead. One of the things that he said is, like, they asked him, because Sean asked him, was she crazy? And he says, absolutely. I don't know who put out those rumors, but this is one of the most grounded, most vivacious, most clear-headed people I've ever met in my life. And she was so spot on. You know, I don't know, you know, having a bulimia, I had anorexia, you know, so that didn't make me crazy. You know, it was an eating disorder.
I think you either have a caring nature or you don't. You know, you're either an empath or you're not. And that she was definitely an empath and had good intuition. I mean, I think she was also, I think she was was she a water sign? I don't think that makes much of a difference, but I'm quite into horoscopes.
Well, she's July 1st. I know she was born in Canada's day. I know that.
Cancer, isn't she a Cancer?
She's a Cancer, yeah. And that's one of the most intuitive signs, apparently, according to the horoscope.
Listen to this. Before we listen to this, this is about Diana. Listen to this. I'm going to mute myself, but listen to this clip. Wait, I'm going to remove this one. Oh, no. I'm going to share it so you can, if you can share it, this is the clip from Diana.
Hello.
I can't see it.
Do you guys think that that King Charles his cancer is terminal? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
Victoria, share this.
I don't believe he is.
Oh, okay, good.
I believe that they're very careful in saying that he
wrong?
is. No, they're very careful in saying that he's not going to live forever. Well, none of us are.
Nobody is.
They're right. No. They're very careful in what they say, in that it is easy to assume it means that he's frail or that he's vulnerable, while still not saying that he is at all. Yeah, I think that it's very carefully controlled.
Yeah.
Listen to the story, guys. Listen to the story. Let me know what you think. Listen.
with a baby crying and screaming, and you could tell that this mother was just on her own. Diana's kind of looking through the crack in the window, and she's like, and she turns to Ken, her bodyguard, and she said, Ken, please, can I just go back there and go and help her? And he said, no, Mum, you really cannot go through. No one knows you're on this flight. And she turns to my dad and she goes, what do you think, Tony? I think, And he said, well, I mean, I don't really see why there would be a problem. And so she goes through the curtain, opens the curtains up, and Dad just saw these faces kind of wide-eyed at who'd just come through. I think he was a flight attendant or something. And she goes, can I help you for a minute? I've got more room up there. And she went, just passed this baby up. Diana took the baby, went behind the curtain. 5 minutes later, just walking up and down, just nursing the baby fell straight to sleep. Handed the baby back over to the mother, who was now crying her eyes out by this point. And Diana turns and she said, it happens to the best of us. Richard Branson used to give the front of first class to Diana whenever she was doing a charity trip. And there was someone just...
Oh, did it go? Oh, where did it go?
I'm here. No, I took it out. And then she also said, shame on you, who saw that she was in distress and nobody helped her.
You either have it or you don't. It's either in your nature or it isn't. I think Meghan's really trying to do that. I think she's
Wait a
really
minute. Are you dissing the Duchess? Are you dissing the Duchess? Are you saying that the Duchess is not kind? How dare you?
She wants people to think that she's trying very, very hard.
Desperate.
It's to pretend that also that she's very into nature. I think that coincides with that loving, caring aspect of a person. So she thinks if she shows that she's a gardener and she likes animals and she likes bees and what have you, she's a...
How can you... I'm sorry. Excusez-moi, mon ami. How can you break... I have had dogs my entire life. I have never had my dog break a leg.
Oh, geez.
No.
Let alone two.
Let alone two.
Go there.
Let alone two at the same time. I'm
going to go there because the story that she put out is that the dog walker let it loose, and then the dog appeared with 2 broken legs.
2?
Yeah.
How did it appear?
They don't know. They don't give an explanation.
They had the dog had 2 broken legs and somehow managed to find its way home. Nonsense.
Yeah. No, it was a dog walker who found, and it's the dog walker's fault. But then they didn't sue the dog walker. No, there's no explanation how the dog broke both legs.
Yeah,
I have never seen that happen.
Oh dear.
By the way, on that tone, I just want to say something.
Now
Thank
I
you
look like a scarecrow.
I just want to say thank you to Florida for passing the law of criminalizing the abuse of dogs. That's a good law. And it should be
animal welfare is probably, I mean, England, really, the UK is great with animal welfare here. We really do love our animals and we love our pets more than, some people love their pets more than people. But I have noticed that in some other places that the animal welfare isn't as good. I mean, I don't know if it's getting better or not, but in America, I think that there's you can own exotic animals, and the zoos are not as kind of well monitored. Maybe I know I watched Tiger King, and that was quite interesting.
They have like a exotic exhibits where you can go and purchase these different kind of animals.
But it's I
like City is not my pet. City is my daughter. Obviously, I can give birth to her, but I emotionally gave birth to her. She has my eyes, she has my nose, ears, And if there's any, believe it or not, I'm sitting here and I'm missing her. If there's a remote chance that she may be ill, I'm not going anywhere, So I don't understand. I don't like to call her pet.
No.
But,
I want to know who, after all the things that we know happened to Meghan's dogs, who the hell is letting her adopt another one? Like that's what baffles me.
Yeah, they will, unless she's on a registry not to be able to have a dog, but she's above the law a little bit.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to say, because I did my live today with the Angry Bootnik. I did something so stupid. I didn't know I had it on unlisted. Oh, no wonder I didn't get any comments. but it's out now. And I was talking about how Lucy Connolly is in jail, right? And how people, maybe people from my generation, were different. We fight because how can this mother be in jail for a post that wasn't even racist or anything like that? And Meghan Markle commits perjury in the UK courts. And oh, it's the Duchess misremembered. No, this woman sat down, wrote in a thing with the advice of lawyers, saying that she had never been in contact with Carolyn Duran and Omid Scobie for that book. Then we had the Jason Kanoff things come out, and not only was she in contact, she was very providing pretty much everything in the context. And then she goes, "Oops, I forgot. This is a woman who's still talking about the scrunchies or whatever the hell, $4.99 Sizzler salad." That she doesn't, but she couldn't remember 7 months of constant interaction with Carolyn Duran, who works for Oprah. And the court, what did the court do? Oh, the Duchess misremembered. And yet this mother, for posting a private Facebook post, and it wasn't racist, she was outraged. She had lost her son, a little boy, and then she just given birth, or baby was very young, and 3 little girls are, you know what happened? I don't know if you're from the States. 3 little girls were unalived by this fudging asshole. And I don't even know why they waste time taking him to court. But anyways, I'm not going to digress. The thing is that we were talking about it. How can this be like this? That the Duchess misremember when perjury is an automatic 2-year sentence in the UK. And we have a mother. She's a young mother, guys. She gave birth. I think her little girl right now is like a year, and she's been behind bars like what, 4 months or something like that. And they denied her the appeal. And by the way, so you know, King Charles can pardon her. King Charles can issue a royal pardon.
It's definitely more than a 2-tier system. Definitely, you know.
How can Meghan Markle not be in jail? How can people not be more outraged at stuff?
Animal farm.
I think people are outraged, but the people in charge don't care.
Right.
Why should she be in jail again?
Over a post. But you know, it doesn't really make sense.
When 3 little girls were unalived they went to do like a yoga session or something for Taylor Swift. They were between the ages of 6 and 9. The 3 little girls that died. They were stabbed multiple times. The teacher who tried to defend them, she was heavily wounded. Others were wounded as well. What the BBC did, they refused to release the name. When they did, they posted pictures of him looking angelic when he was a little boy. So people were misled into thinking that he was that. But when you really look at what he looks like, I did a video on it. And then and then she posted that after she saw that, she was emotional. We can see you, Leticia. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, I'm just showing you my afro.
Oh, that's so when she posted, she just posted something like, "I can't believe he killed, how can 3 little girls be dead? They can all burn for all I care." That's it. But then it was a private Facebook post. Then she went for a walk. She come down and then she deleted it. And then she started actually doing the opposite, trying to advocate for this and that, right?
Yeah.
And then she's in jail.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I do think the police now are policing the wrong things. You know, it's crazy. You know, freedom of speech is sort of dwindling away. As much as we might not like what some people are saying, it doesn't give you the right to shut them up. You know, it's the
Angry Budnik, the guy that I did the video today, his channel suspended for 2 weeks because he posted. Yes, OMD. Why do you think I did that video? Because I know the YouTuber that that when we are reported, we get who reports us, right?
Yes.
Do you?
I know.
100%. Interesting.
Oh,
yeah. How interesting.
Yes.
By the way, I just want to say I love Florida. I had the best time in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it was amazing. I've been there twice now. I love
Yeah.
it. It's just brilliant.
No, this
Absolutely.
is why
Carry
when I
on,
wake
carry
up, like the poor angry bootneck, he can't post for 2 weeks just because he wrote something he made a joke about something. You can't even joke anymore. And then when you wake up, RMB, and you get those emails that say your channel has been reported for child abuse, and I mean that is because that was for grounds for termination, guys.
Yeah.
Like, and what people don't know is that I had run before I posted that. There's a company that represents me. It's called Ritual Network. I had run it all by them. They actually, if you go back to that video, you'll see that there's some cuts because they said, "Oh, you can't say that," so you have to cut it. So it was YouTube approved. I sent everything to them, and they approved it and everything, right? But they still reported, and you know that when they report it like that, it doesn't always fall on the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got that, they said that it was under review for termination. So I immediately contacted my team, and I said, "What the hell's going on here? You said that it was okay for me to air it." And they immediately got on it, but it was like a tense 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, very scary.
Because these people were after my channel, and I didn't lie. I didn't offend anybody, because and I mean, and as I said in my video, I'm just reporting what I find. It's in the public domain.
You're getting too close.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think
I don't know what it was, but it was really weird, to tell you the truth. This is the second time they've done that, because the first time they actually reported my channel for HIPAA violation.
Wow. The bigger you get, I think the kind of more enemies you create, to be fair. I think that's kind of
No, you know what? I find it that I'm
when you're over the target.
No, I find that I'm very specifically targeted, because I don't see this. And this, RMB, they do create these accounts.
Well aware.
There is some jealousy.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
Can we talk about what Camilla wore in Canada?
Because I don't know Camilla.
Beautiful.
But did she not wear a jacket that was worn at the wedding of Meghan and Harry? And there's a whole article on saying that Princess Catherine also recently wore a hat that she wore at the wedding as well. Is it a nod towards Harry and Meghan, do you think? Wearing recycling the clothing? No, it's not.
No.
Okay. Well,
it's recycle.
It's interesting that they're wearing the clothes again, don't you think?
But it's May. They got married in May, and they're re-wearing that fashion in May. It's probably just seasonal.
Okay, all right. Okay, no
RMD, what do you think of the censorship going on right now all over YouTube and people? What do you think of it?
I really had hoped that by now Elon would have taken more steps to make X another version of YouTube so that people could avoid it.
Or buy YouTube.
I see what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Make X, get the capabilities of YouTube onto X so that we could just all bypass YouTube entirely, because nothing is going to change at YouTube. He can buy it, but why would he buy it when he has a platform that he can do the same thing on?
Yeah, but
he might. Heck, I'd love it if he just bought it and made life easier. But the other alternative, I would think, would be, he could take X and make it a competitor of YouTube, which would.
You kind of do, because you can stream. But the problem, for example, for me, it's not monetized worldwide. It's only certain countries that are monetized.
And you don't have the ability, like on YouTube, for people to come to your channel and see the multiple things that you offer. Because even if they go onto your account on X, it's not as all clear cut. But the thing is that, there are tabs there that, you can go to the media of a channel or the media of an account. There are ways to do it, and I think that the capability is there. He's just too busy with other things right now. But the censorship is insane. I mean, it's rules for thee and not for me. Mm-hmm. And the rules aren't clear. You don't even know. It's like you're fighting against a ghost, because you don't know what the rules are, because they don't ever blatantly state them so that you can try and manage them.
If you read like the terms and conditions, it is like another language, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And they're intentionally that way. Yeah, they're intentionally that way so that they cover their butt no matter what they want to do.
Yeah, and they give themselves so much leeway, right?
I gotta tell you,
anyway.
I gotta tell you, if I weren't signed up with Ritual, who they have a direct contact with YouTube, they would have taken my channel down. And this one,
Yeah.
Really? That's not
yes,
right. That's not
yes,
right.
because this is what happened to Sean Atwood and Ron. Ron woke up one day without a channel, literally.
But you literally just said this area code means this.
I just
That's all.
showed the government things. That's it.
That's all you said. This area code means this. This is not. There's.
No, but
I
this
mean,
is not. That was not even my information, and I don't know how many times I stressed that out. I said I wrote to this place. This is what they responded. These are the websites that they showed me.
right.
You know, and this is what you can Google it right now, RMV, and you can see
Yep.
what the government says.
Yep. And the thing is we're starting to see the things that they never thought people would pick up on.
I'm the only one who wants to talk about it.
No, but exactly. But what I'm saying is we're getting to that point that the details that they thought no one would ever find, people are finding them, and you found one of them. And that's the reason that things are changing, and they're getting nastier. Like you said, they weren't content just to say, maybe there's something wrong with this video. They want you done. They want you off completely.
Yeah, because both times have been around.
Got to go to the next level. Yep.
Because have you noticed, RMV, both times have been around the birth certificate?
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So do you think there are higher people in play then trying to shut down your channel? So that
and it's always is not. It's always trying to.
I don't know if it's higher people or if it's just louder people.
Okay.
Yeah, the way they go about it, that they try to discredit me by saying that I put up all the time fake information.
Is it the same person, Paula? Is it the same person each time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Paula, of course.
This is
of course, Paula, that the latest thing is that I'm the one that made them go after you. I hoodwinked them into doing that. Right?
I can tell you guys.
My 3,000 subs somehow were so powerful that they got 2 giant channels to go after an even bigger channel, and it was all because of me.
I gotta tell you,
good strategy.
I am.
You know what the problem is when you have people who are rats?
Yeah.
That there's 2 people in their group, because they have a group chat on Discord and on WhatsApp.
Yep.
2 people there send me the screenshots of everything that they're talking.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Good.
I have copies of emails that are I have copies of emails that are so racist against Pete Diamond and myself that it's unbelievable.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
YouTube creators can be,
and these are from very good YouTubers that you guys all know and love, that are part of the Make community.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the vicious side of this. I'm kind of regretting coming back on.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
Victoria.
Oh, and it's getting more vicious right now, Victoria.
I know. Hello, Tina.
Hello.
Hi.
How's things? You okay?
Where's Nadine?
She's working. It's problem when obviously Manuela's here, but she's got back-to-back meetings all day, so Nadine couldn't come on.
And Heather?
She's a busy bee. She's like doing all her degrees and stuff. I don't know how she does it, to be honest.
Manuela, Nadine, sorry, Cynthia is another Canadian. She's a TikToker and YouTuber as well. She's Canadian. She's a psychologist and all kinds of things. You guys don't invite me on your TikTok lives anymore.
I invited you the other day. You never turned up.
I don't know how to log in that bloody
TikTok.
You have to go live.
I am not techie. I am not a techie person. I'm 56. Do you realize?
You're good with it.
You are roads ahead of me with your technology, though. I can't even do a thumbnail.
You are a techie person, and you don't look 56.
No,
by
you
the
don't.
Way.
That's thank you to Manuela.
I want to talk about the flight attendant situation.
That's bullshit.
Yes, talk about it. What's going on? What happened?
She lied.
Who spoke? Leticia? Is that you that said that?
Yes.
She lied. I love your accent. I just want to take it and
That picture was from a few
Why
years
did you say
ago,
she
right?
lied?
Because ain't nobody come on there a plane telling her that, oh, we know you worked hard for a year and a half for 15 minutes and we love you and we hate to see you go. That's a bunch of BS.
Where are they?
Yeah, where's the flight attendant that said
Yeah.
it? I don't believe anything she says, honestly.
I don't either.
It's manipulated. She manipulates everything she says. She exaggerates, especially when she said, was talking about the racist comment about the color of the skin. You know, it doesn't make sense. Even when you say it out loud, they're not going to get security because they're black. That is some stupid stuff. And so she embellishes and make things up to make it fit her narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is with Meghan, she don't just embellish it a little bit, you know. It's the napkin. It's almost
grandiose.
like a scene out of a movie. It's not even a believable sort of lie. She takes it from here. It's like she's living a life in a movie. What are the chances of Meghan flying commercial and the first time we've ever heard? And of course we found out because that was the whole idea, wasn't it? That's what I see. And what are the chances of that flight crew on that one flight to commercial being some sort of Meghan Markle super fan also? That it just, you know,
the lies are all so grandiose that it goes above and beyond, and provable lies. It's provable that they are a lie.
Yeah, they're outlandish. They're just way out there, out there. The lies is, but look how this is tripping me out. I'm still in shock. I'm in shock that she launched 2 months ago and now she's saying she's moving on to something else. And jam has been your jam. How in the hell are you leaving that and you just produced it? It was all about 2025. It just makes no sense. Like,
well, and don't you know, she's been planning this for years.
Right.
I mean, she had this name for years.
2022.
Right. And she's giving it up within 3 months, please.
You know, one thing that's
you
been
know
going
why
through
though?
my mind.
You know why though?
Why?
Because the USPTO published her company for opposition and she got opposed. So she had to send an amendment. This is what she said she's going to hospitality because as ever China is huge in clothing and a bunch of other stuff. And then you have as ever photography, which has all its print and stuff like that. And then you have as ever sound, which is also about music and stuff like that. And in her as ever brand that she submitted, she basically includes all of this, but because they're all of these trademark brands, she can't trademark it. It's just like what happened with that Archwell thing. You guys remember when I had like 20,000 subs and Meghan Markle wanted to trademark Archwell, and then there was this guy from the Philippines, I believe, who had a nail salon that it was called Archwell, and he begged for help and to people because he didn't want to lose his name. And I did like videos about it, and I didn't know how to have him on my show because I didn't know I could do lives like this, right? And he would send me emails like help, so I would call and he would give me the information. And this is why Meghan Markle couldn't trademark it, because he had it trademarked.
She's not filed her tax returns either, right? Is that for 2 years now?
Yeah, she's going to have penalties.
I mean, is that illegal or what? I mean, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't get away with that.
No,
you can get extensions, but
only for 2 years though. RMV only for 2 years.
That's what I was. Yeah, there are limitations, and there are limitations to it, and obviously there's a point at which you're abusing that system, and I think it's clear to say she's well beyond that point.
Wow, they're gonna get diplomatic.
Have you noticed how they don't do fundraisers?
Well, Manuela, that's the thing. If you ask me, the whole point of the security thing with Harry doesn't need security. He knows he doesn't need security. It has nothing to do with security. He's going off to the Ukraine. He's going to Colombia. He's perfectly safe and he knows it. It's all about the diplomatic immunity for the bazillion things, half of which we probably don't even know about yet, that they've done, that they shouldn't have done, and they want immunity for.
Absolutely. I agree. Her especially.
What do you think is
She
going to
needs it.
happen to
Yes.
Harry? He doesn't have a job.
Well, he was in China just now, one of the most repressive nations in human rights.
This
You know
is
what really bothers me?
laughable.
I just have to say this. I just have to say this. You know what really bothers me? I did a video. It really bothers me that she says such bad lies. Meghan, I know you watch us. Please, can you lie better?
Yeah, right.
Well, she
Can you
forget
lie better? Can you be not stupid in your lies? Can you
At
lie?
least
She's
make your
delusional.
lies a challenge to
Yeah,
debunk.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
stop
make it a
making
challenge. Make it interesting.
baby lies.
Yeah,
Unnecessary.
Make it interesting, Meghan. Make us work for it.
exactly.
Unnecessary lies.
Harry, going back to Harry going to China, he flew to China to talk about the environment.
Salute.
What
Right.
plane did he? How did he get there? Was it a commercial
Salute.
flight or was it a
I
private?
thought it was commercial, Victoria.
But could he not
No,
have done
he
that
flew
on
private.
Zoom?
He flew private.
I mean, it's a bit hypocritical, right? I mean,
A bit.
you're going there to
A
talk
bit.
about
Well,
climate change,
now
and you're
let's
flying there. Why can't you do it on Zoom? Or
Yeah,
you know,
that's it.
Because he needs to go and earn the money. He got paid a pretty penny for that.
now
Also,
do you all
we
know
have.
about the Markle
Sorry.
Foundation?
No, I've
No,
seen.
what's
You know
that?
what?
Okay.
You know what? I want to say this, R&B. It's not that I don't have time to. I really don't have time to watch, but I saw
I
and
know, I don't either. Yeah.
you pop up a lot, and I wanted to watch it
Well,
because it's
one of them is very interesting because it deals with China in that, okay, so there is this foundation that it's a foundation that was created back in the 1930s, and that's what a lot of these political groups do. They find these foundations that were created back in like the 1930s by progressives who had a lot of money and they didn't, and they were doing these philanthropic things. So these foundations have kind of essentially been sitting dormant for about 75 years. So in that time, they've gained an incredible amount of money. So what they do is they then go to these foundations, they pitch their ideas or whatever, and before long, this foundation is now active and pushing certain agendas. Well, one such foundation is called the Markle Foundation. Yes, the Markle Foundation, founded by a couple from the 1930s that were very wealthy, last name Markle. Now, the thing is that the leader of this foundation for about 20 years, I believe she was the leader from like the mid 1990s to about 2023, was a woman by the name of Zoe Baird. If you know anything about American politics, you will know that Zoe Baird was the infamous woman involved in Nannygate. If you know Nannygate, that was when Bill Clinton was trying to appoint this woman to be his attorney general, and it didn't happen because it turned out she was radically breaking the law with her nanny and not paying her nanny taxes and doing all that sort of stuff, which fine. She doesn't end up getting the position and she ends up heading up this Markle Foundation. Well, interestingly enough, her son, I don't remember his name, Jared, something with a J, one of those J names, Jared or Jonathan or something like that. But he ends up under Biden, he is in charge of the China and Taiwan desk of the U.S. National Security Council. So you are talking about people that are very heavily involved in China. They are also the ones that run the Aspen Institute. If you know about the Aspen Institute, that's one of the things that Harry is involved in, and it's one of their propaganda arms. So these people are so grossly interconnected and incestuously connected to each other that the fact that Harry is now going to China is a big deal. It's a huge deal. And it also connects up to Canada because when you start involving Canada, then you start talking about the Wuhan labs and China's connection to Canada through the lab, which we all know what that led to.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting too, because people don't know this, is that Charles is the one who appointed Harry in 2016 to the African parks. It's not that Harry was that. It's Charles put Harry in the African Parks Foundation. And Charles went to a dinner in 2018 that the picture was leaked because somebody took a picture of Harry and Meghan sitting at Kensington Palace from African Parks, because Bill Gates is very good friends with Charles, and Bill Gates lobbied. I did a whole video about this, and it started from something so stupid, guys. It was the little clip that Harry did that wasn't I think it was one of the aviation things before he did the first aviation thing, that he did like a 30-second clip that earned him 200,000. No, sorry, it was the Navy SEAL thing that they inaugurated the Navy SEAL thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, who owns this magazine? And then you go, okay, and the magazine is owned by this. Who owns this magazine here? And then it's BlackRock. It's BlackRock, and BlackRock has the biggest. BlackRock and Bill Gates have the biggest thing in Congo for coltan, not cobalt, coltan, which is a mineral, which 80% of it is in Congo. Everything in our phone is like a conductor.
That's why they're yeah. It's causing a lot of damage to their land, isn't it?
Yes.
And to the people as well.
To the people. It's at the ecosystem in general. Yeah.
I mean, carry on.
Isn't it amazing that Cherie Blair conducted an investigation, and they're not allowed to show the investigation into African parks? Have you noticed that?
Paula, isn't the head of African Parks, isn't it some South African guy or whatever, some South African billionaire or something like that? He's friends with Bill Gates too, right?
Yeah, Bill Gates lobbied because up until 2006, it was illegal to mine in Congo. So Bill Gates lobbied for almost, when I say lobby, means he bribed, allegedly.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll say it. He lobbied in Congo to make mining legal. Because Congo, because of its forest, was considered like a kind of like a protected area, right? And then he lobbied, and then he got the government to pass that it was legal to mine again. Unfortunately for the Baka people, 80% of the fucking coltan all over the world it's found there. Okay, so it's in the forest, and the mining of that literally pollutes the hell out of it. And this is why it makes me uncomfortable that Bill Gates, and this is what people like Bill Gates do, they donate to the Earth Shot in order to kind of compensate what they're doing. Like, don't tell Peter what Paul is doing.
Yep.
And it really makes me uncomfortable because Prince William, who I believe is a legit guy, I really do believe Prince William is a legit guy, he shouldn't have Bill Gates there.
No.
You know, there's only two things I criticize him for. One, when he criticized William Shatner for going into space with Amazon, he should have kept his mouth shut. That's Captain Kirk going into space at 92 years of age. Shut up. Number two is this thing with Bill Gates being a donor, and also Salesforce, which is the guy who owns Time magazine, is also a donor from his homeless thing, and he also named Jose Andres ambassador of Earthshot Prize, which is a bad thing, in my very humble opinion, because there's so many chefs in the United Kingdom that could have been nominated ambassadors, you know, and not Jose Andres.
What do you guys think about Santa Paula? Do you think he's going to go down?
Well, you know, it's so really interesting because Pidan and I were talking about it, because you know that the Charities Commission launched a thing. So I just recently tweeted tagging Santebale and the Charities Commission saying, what's going on? What's happening? Because they're going quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know that Dr. Chanduka, who is the head of Santebale or whatever, do you know what her job is? She works for Meta. So there's more to this than meets the eye.
I think Meghan is all up in it too, because why would Sophia bring up Meghan in this about the Santa Barbara charity? She has nothing to do with it. She's just his wife. Now all of a sudden they're bringing up her name. So it tells me a big story that she was the cause of all of this.
Yeah, she was. Because, I mean, can you imagine the doctor?
I don't think she was the cause of. I don't think she was the cause. No.
You think it was Harry? Because Harry's the
absolutely.
Harry's the one that went to Sophia and told her to write a note, a nice article.
Yeah, that was well after the problems were already well
To
in the
be honest with
works.
you, like when you're with someone like Meghan Markle, you kind of become like them anyway. You speak like them, you behave like them, especially when you're isolated, segregated, whatever, from your family and friends. And because of your own actions as well, you've placed yourself in a situation. You have no choice but to assimilate to the wife next to you and to defend her name because she's Diana by all accounts in EZ. And yeah, I do think that he's the one. Well, you know, but obviously Meghan's in there somewhere entwined. She can't help herself but to be up in everything. To be honest, like.
I think the issues with Santabali are much deeper, and they happened long before that polo tournament. Like that polo tournament was just what we saw, but long before that, the issues within the organization were happening.
Yeah, the thing is that Dr. Chandauka, and what people don't know is that Dr. Chandauka, it was Prince Charles who set up Centevale for Harry.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Dr. Chandauka was one of the. All you have to do is go to the financial reports of Centevale from 2009, because that's the first. That is the first financial report for Centevale is 2009, and I did a whole video about this, and this was because Harry was getting into so much trouble, especially until 2007 when he got caught snorting coke with vodka directly to his brain. I showed that video. It was hard to find because they deleted everything. That these people are showing the video of Harry snorting coke with vodka, and this is in 2007 while he was in the army. And then in order to because the story was broken by the News of the World, what did the military do? And the military has been complicit with this idiot. They sent him in 2008, in December 2008, to Afghanistan to play soldier.
To be honest with you, the royal family will be protecting him even now to this day, to a certain degree.
Yes,
absolutely.
They are absolutely.
It kind of bothers me, though. It kind of bothers me. You know,
like they set up everything. The Invictus, Sanabala. What else they set up? The only thing they set up was Archibald.
Well, Charles set up Centevale. Charles set up also the Queen's Commonwealth Trust in April, so Harry and Meghan would take over in May when they got married. That was Charles who set it up. The Queen's Commonwealth Trust website, the very same one who was promoting Better Up, which is illegal because it's a commercial venue. It was just like now, guys. I'm gonna have to get going, but just like now, for example, it really bothers me that Charles is promoting, and I'm gonna leave you with this little tip. He's promoting Sussex Com on the royal website, which is a commercial venture.
Sussex what?
Sussex.com. If you go to the website,
all these headlines about Harry and Meghan, although they're damaging, it wouldn't be like if there were headlines of Harry and Meghan divorce, Harry gone to the Priory for mental health support.
She froze.
Harry is living in New York most of the time.
Tina.
They will protect Meghan in a way from afar to make sure they balance the royal family name.
I don't know. You definitely messing up the Duchess of Sussex name. That ain't no good. No.
You froze when you asked the question. I didn't hear what the question.
you froze a bit there, Tina. Oh,
she's still freezing a little bit.
Isn't this woman in
for you?
I'm in a third world country and I have better internet than Tina. How can this be?
It's in Birmingham. I don't know what's going on up there. They're not collecting
the
rubbish.
It's coming to Birmingham in 2027 with Invictus.
There you go.
How is it living in
She just got censored by them.
Right, she's back.
No, she's back.
No, she's not back.
No.
How is it living in Nicaragua, Paula?
I love it. I love it. You know, people, it's so funny because people say that I have a Latin accent. Actually, I grew up speaking 3 languages. My father was French Canadian. Yeah, he was born in Rio Noranda. Ya está la comida, que tengo hambre. Ya voy. ¿Y quién es? Wait 1 second. There's somebody who's my niece's boyfriend and I don't like him. Hola, amor, ¿qué tal? Okay, no sos novio de nadie. He's nobody's boyfriend. That's good. Okay. No, you know, my best friend's daughters are like my nieces, right? So I don't like their boyfriends.
Okay. we want to hope they don't watch
Tina's back.
This then.
So the thing is, what were we talking about? Okay,
Tina's back.
We were talking about, I forgot, but I have another question for you, Paula.
But the thing is, before I go, I'm going to say something like this to you. Do you remember when Harry and William broke? Oh, in Nicaragua. I was living in Nicaragua. People think that I have an accent. If you see my Spanish channel, I murder the language.
You butcher it. You're
Yeah, no, I
butchering the
really do. I
language.
really do struggle. I really do struggle with words because when you grow up speaking 3 languages, I didn't know I spoke 3 languages
Yeah.
until I went to school, and everybody thought I was a retard because they thought I spoke
Oh,
weird things.
God.
Yeah, and then but I was gonna say I'm gonna leave you with this.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Sussexes parted ways with the Royal Foundation?
No, I don't.
I'm just
Well, there was announced that the Sussexes were going to create their own Sussex Royal.
Yeah, it was like late 2018.
Oh yeah,
right?
they're on
Just seeing that they
website.
parted ways. The story here is that they parted ways. Never,
Right.
not when they parted ways. It's that they parted ways and they gave a reason, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pay close attention as to why Prince William parted ways and got his own lawyers. That's all I'm going to say because there's a big story behind it. So just think about it. Why Prince William parted ways with the king's lawyers and got his own lawyers who were Princess Diana's lawyer. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Oh, well,
To
you got
get
some
himself
inside
out of the
knowledge there.
imbroglio that's there.
I
He's got to
just want to
himself.
say if the word retard is considered a little bit naughty there, Paula. So if anyone's offended by that, then,
Oh, sorry, I was calling myself a retard.
I know you
no,
was, but I shouldn't call yourself that either, Paula.
No, because I don't know. I'm 56 years of age. I was
You're
considered.
56.
Yeah, you know that there's some Princess Diana's thing, and this is in the BBC interview. You can watch.
Look 56.
They used to call the people who were deaf, deaf
know.
and dumb.
Times do change,
Yes.
Paula.
Well,
Unfortunately,
I am
with
sorry
the words
because
we
I'm
can't use
56.
anymore.
I'll ask her.
I'm
Is
50.
anybody following Diddy?
That guy's gonna walk. That
Chat
guy's
wants
gonna
to
walk.
know. The
He's gonna
chat
walk.
wants to know if anybody's following Diddy Snowdrop.
I am. He's gonna walk.
He's gonna walk.
I think
agree.
so too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing no slam dunking.
Sorry, I'm
going
having
on
problems
here.
with my technology.
Well, they're not even asking the
What
right
is
question.
going on with your internet, Tina?
Tina's internet is drinking wine.
Can she hear me?
So,
Can you hear me,
RMD,
Tina?
what have you heard anything about Prince William's separation from Charles?
What do you mean?
No.
Well,
Just the
breaking
lawyers.
up the household, like legally.
Oh, is he gonna move to a different house?
No,
No, they're separating themselves.
legal.
Figurative
counsel
house.
now. He has his own
Figurative
lawyer.
house, not the
Affairs are
actual
no
house.
longer held by the same lawyers, so they don't use the same lawyers to handle
Oh.
those affairs.
So this way he won't get grouped in with Charles. He'll be able to protect himself from
They're-
everything
they're
that's going
gonna-
on.
I'm going to give you
Protect his
another
family.
hint. I'm going to give you another hint.
Yeah.
The
Go on.
York family.
Oh, please.
Okay. Oh, so they're doing the Sussex stuff too. I think it's like rivalry going on here.
Really? Oh,
No,
wow.
I think
God.
that Prince
I think
William.
the York. I think some of the Yorks are behind an awful lot of what Meghan does.
Oh, wow.
Ding, 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 ding.
Interesting.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
I did a video about
Okay.
that.
That is interesting.
Okay.
Tracing, including, you know how we all have seen, especially with the Oprah Winfrey dress that Meghan wore, we all have seen how she cosplayed Wallace Simpson so many times.
Yeah.
Guess who's a big fan of Wallace Simpson and had studied her long before Meghan was in the family? That would be Fergie.
Yeah.
You can go back and you can find Fergie doing interviews talking about Wallace Simpson and about how much she studied her.
Meghan ain't
So,
got nothing on her.
who
Meghan
told-
is in a class all by herself.
Who told Meghan how to really zing it to the Queen?
You think she read the book?
Dressing. No, I think that Fergie told Meghan what to wear in order to piss off the Queen.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Because you can
Very
go back
interesting.
and we can see like everybody knows how the bird shit dress from Oprah. Sorry.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
language.
That,
How that dress was one that Wallace Simpson wore one just like it. There's like 6 or 7 other dresses like that
Oh,
dress.
I think
Remember?
I saw that.
Remember, she wore the dress to the retirement home for the actors when she was like 7 months pregnant. We've all seen it. It's the white dress that in December she's wearing a short sleeve dress that had nothing, like it was totally inappropriate for the season and whatnot, and it fit her terribly. Yeah, well, that's because there's a dress like there's photos just like that of Wallace Simpson wearing the same like a dress almost identical.
Oh.
She did everything she
What do
could
you
to piss
think is
her
going
off.
to happen after
Yes,
Lemonado?
exactly.
Like that's failed.
What's gonna
Say that
happen?
again,
Well,
Lady Letitia.
The Lemonado. What do you think? Because the podcast ain't doing too good. Have y'all heard it? Have y'all listened to some of it? I tried to with my subscribers, but we couldn't get through it. It was so boring.
Yeah,
It's just awful.
I listened to the first one and I said, "That's it. I've done my penance.
Lemonade got
I'm
a
not
lot
doing the
of play
Lemonado
for
anymore."
it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
The only interesting one that I would say was with the cosmetic lady, Jamie.
Oh, Lee Kurt. What was her name? Jamie
Kearns Lima Kearns.
Kearns Lima, yeah.
I call her both.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
gotten to the
watch
point that
that
it's
one.
Jamie Kern Lima Kearns.
What about it? That was
I just
terrible. That was
wonder
so
what she's
awful
gonna
listening to
do
those baby
after that.
voices.
The whole thing, and why are we getting different medical revelations in each freaking one? Why is each podcast episode another medical revelation of Meghan's?
Right.
Distraction.
Yes.
It's all distraction. It's all
Ridiculous.
bullshit.
Yeah.
She's just trying to
Didn't she
elevate
say she
herself.
had preeclampsia or something like that?
Yeah, she's had preeclampsia.
I don't believe
she's had everything that a guest has, she's had.
Yep.
Yeah, she's had it too.
Yeah.
Or she knows someone.
Yep.
But she's had it more. Hers is bigger.
Right, of course.
Hers is bigger.
Always.
Better.
She may start running out of people to interview, but I think they said the ratings were horrible on Lemonado, and it's not doing too good. So everything's not doing good. The Scammer Jam, the female founder situation, the podcast is not doing good.
Confessions of a Female Failure.
Yes, that's it.
That she does well.
That is. She found her niche.
Let me do this to see if it'll stick, or see if it'll work, or see if anybody will buy it, or see if anybody likes it. If they don't like it and it doesn't stick, then we'll just move on to something else.
Yep.
That's not the way you do business.
Yeah. Have you ever met somebody so useless with absolutely zero talent, but the amazing opportunities that she has? Like it's just
blown every one of them.
Mind blowing.
And she's blown every single one of them. She blew it. She couldn't. She's had everything, and because at this point, I think that she's made her failure her business. She's made her failure and her ability to market and be, to get that. People cover everything that she does, even though it's a failure, because it's so laughable how many times she's failed to the point that she's made a business out of her failure.
You're so right. You're so right, because when she fails, it's like, I forgot what I was going to say. Shoot.
It's even better.
It's news. She's the disaster tourist. She's a disaster everything. Everybody just, and it's like, it's like that accident on the road. You slow down your car, you take a look. She's a daily accident.
Yes.
What are you up to?
I don't think she sticks at anything for long enough to, make a success of it. You have to give something a chance.
I was thinking about that, especially when that fellow was on earlier. He was talking about the body language and all that. And in my head, I'm thinking about, what does she have in common? Like she starts things and stops and all this. And it seems to me that I think the underlying thing is she is absolutely not a team player. She can't work well with others. So even if she started her business, once you started and you got the jam going, for example, then you have to be part of a team, a part of a process. There's accountability.
That's right.
So she's able to do things, but zero team player. She can't be in a partnership. She can't be with a group. She can't be a part of the 4 or the 2. She always has to be one. So it means she always has to just move on to the next thing, create something, move on to that. She's always
so we can forget about it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
because she
think
has
what
no
happens
follow
is
through.
if she doesn't see instant results, she gets very frustrated.
Okay.
And I think
It's
she
not about
has,
her anymore.
and there's a level of kind
Yeah.
of,
It's not the
um,
excitement. It's not the
yeah,
excitement of a
yes,
new
new
brand, a
venture.
new whatever.
Yeah, you guys should
Which
check out
doesn't
my
bode well for Harry.
You got what,
No,
Victoria?
no. Well, I just
Debbie
done a
Campbell, Debbie Campbell
preview.
in the chat just made a great comment too. She
Yeah.
said, just like the podcast, she's had with the Limonada one, she's had an illness to match whatever the guest has, and her childhood matched whatever her childhood was when she was doing the archetypes. Her
Oh my
childhood was
God,
whatever
yeah.
that guest was.
Yep, it sure
Yeah.
So
was.
she changes
We
her
ate
story each time
in
she
Jack in the
talks
Box.
about her childhood. I think there are a couple of clips that are completely contrasting.
Yep.
And you think, wow, does she not realize she's being recorded? And actually, we can bring this back up to daylight. I think they were completely conflicting. I can't remember what the clip said
Yep.
now. Do you guys remember what was said?
I can't remember exactly. Like
Well, she
I think
said she was doing the $5 buffet at that salad bar, and then her
Sizzlers.
dad's Sizzlers, and then her dad is taking her to like one of the most expensive
like
diners,
Musi and something in Muso's or something. Nick and
Exactly.
Muso's, yeah.
So, and then she was a latchkey kid, but then she was at ballet class, and then she was. It's like no, you're one or the other. You're not both.
Right.
Yes, and she contradicts herself. She slips up. And each time it's almost like I feel as if she doesn't really recognize or doesn't know what she's doing sometimes. You think that she's got some sort of, I keep saying this, but she thinks she has a personality disorder.
She does. She has many. But it's like in the moment, she only thinks of what will answer the question or what will give her whatever it is she wants out of the moment. She doesn't care what happened last week and what she said last week, and that, people will go back and say, well, last week you said the exact opposite. She only cares about each moment and how to get all the attention on her at that moment. And at that moment, saying, well, I had preeclampsia too, was going to get her all the attention. And so that's all she cared about.
Yeah. Just like, remember when they said, I never said that they're racist, the British
there are a lot
of
people like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. Imagine that. I mean, we don't think we watched the Oprah interview. It's insane. They're almost like trying to gaslight us to the point that we have to double check ourselves and go back and go, hold on a minute. Because that is in a relationship where you're being gaslit, you do kind of have to think, is my memory playing tricks on me? Are they telling the truth? Because they really believe what they're saying in that moment, and it's gobsmacking actually, that the level of insanity that we're dealing with.
It is.
Well, I'm Canadian, so I'm watching the Oprah interview, and when she's talking about her child is not going to be a prince or whatever, and I'm going, right, because it's the grandchild, it's not the child. Like, it's like, we know this from school. Why don't you just say the truth, right?
Well, because she doesn't know it. And so she can't understand. Well, she knew it, but did she listen to it? I have no doubt she was told.
Something.
Right. Yeah. I have no doubt she was told a gazillion times exactly what was going on and why, Archie would be a prince once the queen died. I'm sure she knew all that. She didn't care.
She completely, she knew from the very beginning what she was doing. All this nonsense about, I didn't know he was anything really about the royals. Come on, we've seen clips of you dressing up as a princess and pretending that you were, you wanted to be part of the royal family when you were a child. You knew, everybody knows the royals. You have to be living under a stone not to know them, or from another planet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, the best clue to me that Meghan and her family were well versed in the royal family is when Meghan's sister came on, I think it was like a day or two before the wedding, when she was on Good Morning Britain, and she made a reference about her father being chased by the paparazzi, and she said, we know how that can end. Are we looking for that type of a tragedy? How did she know that? How did she know to make that reference to Diana? Because the whole Markle family knows the whole thing. They know everything.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah.
They do.
I mean,
She's well-versed.
she manipulated that relationship from the very beginning, and she calculated it. She's a very calculated person, and you know, her whole being is rehearsed. She's completely rehearsed in everything she does. But then there's, because she has to put so much energy into that, when she's actually in private with other people, she lets this fury and rage out, because it takes so much of her to be this nice, well-posed person.
Yeah.
It takes so much out of her. It must drain. I mean, to be fake like that must drain the life out of you, because it's so hard being two people. No.
Well, you know what else? The other thing too is she's incredibly crafty, but she's not very smart.
No.
Right.
She can plot and scheme very well.
Yeah, she's good at that.
But she doesn't have the intelligence to keep track of what she's doing.
No, exactly. You have to have a good memory to be a good liar.
Yeah, you do.
That's why she works well alone.
Yes.
That's why she needs to do everything alone.
True.
She can't be part of a team.
You're right.
And she has this new team. Have you seen the new team?
Oh, the new royal team. She's put together.
Royal team.
Her office.
Oh my God.
Yeah. They keep employing new staff because no one wants to stay.
Nobody wants to say. She doesn't get along with anyone. She's bossy, mean. She's the worst person to work with, because she's not listening to the experts to tell her, listen, Meghan, we're here to help you. That's what you hired us to do. No, I want it done this way.
Harry and her do not want to be criticized, and they don't want constructive criticism, to know how to do better and have that, like you said, that growth mindset. They're not interested. They feel like their way is the right way, and they will not take any other ideas on board. And unfortunately, that's going to be their own downfall. You know,
it is their downfall.
Yeah,
They're the architects of their own destruction.
Can you imagine if their titles were stripped, what they're going to do? How much? I mean, they're going to just explode.
It'll never happen.
Meghan,
there was a point when she gave out the announcement or whatever that Lily was with her christening or whatever, where I actually took a moment and said, now the way it was worded, I was like, is she telling us that she named that child Princess Lily? Like Princess is the first name, Lily is the next name, because it wouldn't have surprised me at that point if she did, to make sure that they would never lose that title.
Exactly. After she said that they weren't going to get the titles. That's what she told Oprah.
Yep.
They, and I don't know why the mainstream media didn't come back and say something about that. Well, Meghan, you got the titles for the kids. How do you feel now? Remember, you said you wasn't going to get them, but they can't ask real questions because she already has a list of questions that is approved by her to ask her.
Oh yeah, she'd never do an interview. She'd never do an interview with anyone that she didn't control the questions. No, nope.
Absolutely. She'll say, "I never said that."
Did you guys see the? Did you guys watch that interview where she was talking about Archie losing his first tooth, and she rushed home to ensure that he had a little money and a small dinosaur under his pillow, but she did it at 2 a.m. So Archie apparently woke Meghan up to tell her what happened, but the story just doesn't make sense. And then she added, I had a lot of business meetings the next morning, but I still chose to cuddle with him for the rest of the night.
Like, what does that got to do with anything?
Those mum moments energize me to be a better founder, a better employer, and a better boss. What the F is she going on about? She's insane.
That's such a good question.
That is nuts.
What a way to just chuck in how, she's up all night with the kids.
Yeah, she's perfect.
That's exactly it.
Nobody else.
That's exactly what she wanted everybody to hear out of that, was that she was the mom that does it all. She's the super mom that can be up for the 8 a.m. business meeting and dressed and coiffed and exactly.
In the morning.
Cook some bacon before she leaves. Do the fruit plate.
What a load of BS. It energizes me to be children don't energize you at all.
No.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. But you know, it just goes to show how unremarkable her life is. Like, it's really, this is just normal. We all have children, they've lost their teeth. We've played, you know, Tooth Fairy. We've sat up with them. This is what happens. There's nothing, you don't need to be a princess to do this. Or are we all princesses?
No.
I mean,
right. No, she grabbed them titles and ran to California to start a Mimi, that's her brand, is Mimi.
Yeah,
Mimi.
I mean, and you know, she talked about the fact that she had a complete U-turn because she bought into the vision that she was sharing, that she wanted content, and then she wanted commerce to me, and then she changed her mind, and then she didn't want a product placement, and she just has no kind of decision making or logical thinking. She's flips back and forth to what she wants from who she is, because she's Harry's wife. She knows she can do something with that, but she just doesn't know what. She's still trying to find what she wants to do, and I think she wants the laziest route possible to make money.
I agree. But here's the thing: she's never going to be successful. It's never going to work out for her because she's not liked. If she was liked and had a great personality and was relatable, then people would probably buy that 14-bottle jar of jam and support her and watch her Lemonado show, even though we don't like it. I mean, we would try to be more likable towards her if she was likable. If she was
honest.
Yeah, it's because she's faking who she is that we see through it, and it's unfortunate because if she could be herself, if she had a nice character underneath the facade, then maybe people would warm to her. If she had something, you know, if she had a nice personality. I think we've worked out that she doesn't, and she knows she has to fake it because the real her is, you know, isn't particularly great.
Really ugly.
Tonight,
I remember watching one.
Yeah, go on, carry on. Sorry.
I remember watching one interview with her that they show up in these interviews, the old ones. You know, when she was just, I think even before Suits, or maybe just when Suits started. But she was so excited about being able to say, "I go to work and there's a fruit basket in my trailer." Like, that was huge to her. Someone gave her a fruit basket. So she got to that level where there was some flowers or some fruit every day when she showed up to work. Now she has the world given to her and she's miserable and it's horrible and they're racist and they're not fair and they're not. It's like, come on. You just have too much.
Yeah, I think she's just got too much at her fingertips. I mean, she's now even talking about starting a clothing business instead. So she's going to completely bypass what she's doing already with her gardening and all the other crap she's got going on. So she wants to now explore fashion, and it's an interesting space for her. I mean, it's just.
Oh no! Don't say space. Don't give her ideas. Next she'll be joining. Jeff Bezos, and she'll have her own.
She should go to space.
Katy Perry. Girls, we've gone over 2 hours of live. I really appreciate you all joining me, but I don't want to.
It was a pleasure.
You all night long.
Oh, can I ask one more question before we go, Victoria?
Yeah, go for it.
So, and I keep forgetting because I didn't got old. I was gonna say, and I probably asked this earlier, I just want to know, how do you guys feel about the way she doesn't allow the kids to see anyone, only celebrities?
That's cruel.
Like, the family doesn't have an opportunity to see the kids. I think it's abuse.
It's absolutely abuse. I think that's abuse. I think it's very cruel because children need to see their family. They need to know who they belong to or who they're connected to and be part of those structures occasionally at Christmas or for meals or so they can interact and become part of that immediate community and be outside of that. I just think the children don't thrive.
I agree.
No, and I think you're right. It's the controlling aspect there. She wants to completely control what her kids do and how they live their life, like she does with everybody else.
Ooh.
But then you don't love them. Then you're not really a mom.
Narcissists aren't capable of loving, are they? I don't think.
That's true.
I
They're
don't think
sociopathic. They can't. They don't have normal
the
feelings.
kids are going to have a lot of issues when they're older. If they
Very
are
much so.
children, that's another conversation. But girls, would you like to join me again at some point? Because it was lovely having you guys on.
Sure,
absolutely.
I'll get your contact details and I'll get your links so we can put that in the description box. And we'll try and do another live at some point next week with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody in the chat, I know I've been missing for so long. I've had some health issues, but I'm okay. It's fine. But I'm back now. We're back. We're going to do lives. We're going to do videos. Please like, share, subscribe, la-di-da-di-da. You know the drill. Love you guys for joining us in the chat. I appreciate it so much. It's lovely to see you all again. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody in the chat.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Hello, Victoria. It's good to see you.
I know.